Welcome back to Frontier Podiatrist. Critics who raved over Hal Prince's Company, which was in 1970, and then Follies of 71, have been equally enthusiastic over the latest Broadway effort of his called A Little Night Music, which won the Tony Award as Best Musical of 1973. And my next guest, Miss Glynis Johns, is one of the reasons I think that they agree night music will be around for some time to come. Would you welcome, please, Miss Glynis Johns. I was just trying to think how long it has been since you've been with us, and it's been a good 7 or 8 years that you were on this show.
I think so, yes. I think it's been that time since I've been in New York.
Yeah. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, Tom.
Would you like your feet read?
No, I watched that from outside. That was marvelous.
Yeah. Well, most show people are kind of superstitious. They have certain things. Some of them believe in palmistry or don't whistle in dressing rooms and, you know, all of those things they do, break a leg before they go on. For some strange reason. Do you have any of those little peccadillos that we all have?
No, I don't. I'm the opposite. In fact, I'm a bore because people who do have the superstitions, I mean, it drives them mad if I start whistling in the dressing room or wear green or anything like that. So there is another superstition that if somebody whistles in the dressing room, you're chucked out in whatever dress you're in. It may be nothing. And you have to turn around 3 times outside of the door and call and ask to come in.
Grown people do that.
Grown people.
I remember once the late Tallulah Bankhead was on the show, and I've never found out where this came from, and maybe you can tell me. And she was standing backstage, and before I came on, she spit on me. Just a little bit, for good luck. And she went, "Oh, darling," like that. And I said, "That's a crazy lady." And I found out later that was a theatrical superstition, I guess.
Well, that's like saying mad or something like that, you know.
Yeah. We're all a little crazy in this business anyway.
Yes, I do.
I think a New York Times reporter described your voice as honey over graham crackers.
Well,
something like that?
Yes. It's been described a lot of ways, and some of them not very flattering. But, emery boards come into it, the soft side of an emery board. And sweet and sour, all that.
I like it. It's got a wonderful quality about it.
Well, it happened, I think. I have a theory about how it happened. I used to practice singing with Paul Robeson when I was a very little girl, and I think I broke my voice.
And it's hard to get parts for him lately, yeah. Well, Paul Robeson had that huge, magnificent voice.
Yes, well, 6 years old, I was trying to compete with him.
So as long as you can remember, you've had the rather husky quality?
Yes, I was called Tallulah at school.
Is that right? Tammy Grimes also has that
similar,
husky quality in her voice, but I think it's very charming. Somebody told me when you mentioned Paul Robeson at 6 that your parents, you come from a long line of theatrical family, so you were really almost the old born in a trunk type of thing.
I was born in a basket, a native basket.
Really?
Yes, and my grandparents owned part of a train that they used to hitch on to the main train in South Africa. And so all the family, it was the whole company was a family.
Was it a touring, like a repertoire
Yes, they were
company?
very famous. They toured South Africa and Australia and New Zealand, and everybody played an instrument. My grandmother played every instrument. She was the first woman violinist in Australia.
I didn't know that. So it goes back several generations.
She carried me on the stage, yes. She carried me on the stage when I was 3 weeks old. She inherited the company from her father.
Good heavens. That's a long line.
Yes, my son is in it now, too. And so he's the 5th generation. I think that's about as long a...
It's incredible, it is.
Yes.
Did all of you marry people in the business? Because sometimes it's very difficult if somebody marries somebody out of the business.
Yes, exactly. Well, with my grandmother's company, it was very difficult because all being family, all playing an instrument, they had to kind of watch to see who they were going to marry in case it was somebody who already played the instrument that they were playing. See? I mean, they couldn't
that's
marry...
auditioning for a marriage.
Well,
That's
we
crazy.
need a trombone, you see, and so they go out looking for a trombone player.
That's funny. That's really funny. Now, when you got married, was your husband in the business?
No, he was in the army because I got married during the war.
Oh, I see.
When he came out of the army, he went into the business. But my husbands recently have not, since then, that was my first
She just says, I'm getting married for the fourth time, and I went into cardiac arrest.
I wondered what sort of reception you'd get when you got home.
Well, I think I'm going to take my wife out to a late dinner tonight, and possibly she may not. Oh, she's got to hear about this now. But I don't think that's an accurate reading, Madame Dawson. What?
It is.
You know, that's why I've never gone to a fortune teller, because even though you may not believe in it and you don't give much value to it, I don't like to hear it.
No.
It plants something in your mind, you know, that you're going to meet with disaster on this weekend or something, and you can't get it out of your mind.
No, that's
It's
right.
like somebody, it's like somebody saying to you, look, whatever you do today, do not think of an orange elephant. Now, promise me. Now, I swear, as the day goes on, it is almost impossible not to think of an orange elephant, because the seed has been planted.
I know.
Do those things happen to you? And did you?
Yes, with a lot of fortune tellers, I find that they don't tell you the negative.
Yeah.
They just tell you the positive.
Yeah. How do you like doing night music? It's been a most successful play.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's my first musical,
Right.
and I won the Tony on it,
Right.
and it was just marvelous to the first time doing something in different in my career. To get the award on it was just magic.
That is great. When we come back, we'll do a little background on this number that you're going to do for us and tell the audience what it's about, because sometimes when you do a number out of context
Right.
of a
yes.
play or a musical, sometimes the audience doesn't quite understand. So we'll talk about how this takes place, okay?
Yeah.
Nice to see you. We'll be back after this message, so stay with us. We're back. We're talking with Glynis Johns about a little night music on Broadway here. This number you're going to do, which is has to do with clowns. I forgot the title of it.
Send in the Clowns.
Send in the Clowns. How does this lead in, and what's the...
Well, the way it was written is quite interesting because Stephen Sondheim is inclined to write things at the last minute. And this number was written during the end of rehearsals and only 2 days before we did a gypsy run through.
Right.
And it was only written then because during the course of rehearsing the scene that the A number was supposed to be in, Len Cary and I thought of a different way of doing it, a more dramatic way. And Hal said, wait a moment, I'm getting on the phone and I'm getting Steve around to see it. And so Steve got in a taxi and came around and watched the rehearsal, went back, and I had the number the next day.
And it opened, and that was it.
And then I sang it to an audience the day after.
You know, it's strange how many times that's happened in theater and motion pictures. At the last moment, somebody will put a
Gets
song
idea.
in, and it automatically,
clicks.
because it's been there, and it almost writes itself and comes to life.
That's right.
Oh, there's a gnat flying right around in front of me. Excuse me. You see it? You think I'm kidding, and I got him. And I also have severely injured my eye. No. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt the song, but would love to have you do it.
You would. Well, I'd better just say now, this song comes in the middle of a dramatic scene. It is about a woman who is rejected, and the song is about her reaction to it. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Send in the clown. approve. One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours. Making my entrance again with my usual flair. Sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. And where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
They like you. By George. Ooh, that's very lovely. That's one of the nice things about coming to New York. We get a chance to present some of the things that are happening on Broadway. We have 2 or 3 more, I think, scheduled in the 2 weeks we're here. Little excerpts from shows. It's kind of nice. We're going to meet the young lady who was also in the show, Miss D. Jamin Bartlett, in a moment. But now here's a word about your dog's favorite food. The mailman. We're back now. Let's talk about this, the next guest who is working with you in the show. She's a relative newcomer, is she not?
Well, yes, and she took over in Boston terribly quickly. I've never seen anybody quite so brave. She had to take over in about a couple of days, and she was marvelous.
And she's going to do a number called, by Stephen Sondheim again, called The Miller's Son, I believe. She plays in a little night music, less than a virgin maid, isn't it, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yes.
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 Okay, I've tried to phrase that delicately. I guess you have the album out, too, and I want to show that before I forget it. Because the music in here by Sondheim is great. This is the album here, which is on, I can't find the label, what it's under. Columbia Records put this out. This is her first network appearance also. So would you welcome, please, D. Jamin Bartlett. D.
I shall marry the miller's son. Pin my hat on a nice piece of property. Friday nights for a bit of fun. We'll go dancing. Meanwhile, it's a wink and a wiggle and a giggle on the grass. Now trip the light fandango, a pinch and a diddle in the middle of what passes by. It's a very short road from the pinch and the punch to the paunch and the pouch and the pension. It's a very short road to the 10,000th lunch and the belch and the grouch and the sigh. In the meanwhile, there are mouths in the meanwhile, and a girl ought to celebrate what passes by. Or I shall marry the businessman. 5 fat babies and lots of security. Friday nights, if we think we can, we'll go dancing. Meanwhile, it's a push and a bumble and a tumble in the sheets, and I'll put the Highland fancy. I'll dip in the butter and a flutter with what meets my eye. It's a very short fetch from the push and the whoop to the squint and the stoop and the mumble. It's not much of a stretch to the cribs and the coop and the bosoms that droop and go dry. In the meanwhile, there are mouths to be kissed before mouths to be fed, and there's many a tryst and there's many a bed to be sampled and seen in the meanwhile. And a girl has to celebrate what passes by. Or I shall marry the Prince of Wales. Pearls and servants and dressing for festivals. Friday nights with him all entails. We'll have dancing. Meanwhile, it's a rip in the bustle and a rustle in the hay, and I'll pitch the quick fantastic with flings of confetti and my petticoats away up high. It's a very short way from the fling that's for fun to the thigh pressing under the table. It's a very short day till you're stuck with just one, for it has to be done on the sly. In the meanwhile, there are mouths to be kissed before mouths to be fed, and there's many a tryst and there's many a bed. There's a lot I'll have missed, but I'll not have been dead when I die. And a person should celebrate everything passing by. And I shall marry the miller's son.
DJ and Bartlett. Which one? Now sit down a second. Just sit in place, Sarah. Yeah, that was very pretty.
Thank you very much.
You know, who does she remind you of a little bit now? With the eyes up and the hair. I'm asking my producer. Just a little bit similarity. No. What?
No, it is your wife.
My wife, a little bit. The eyes and the hair. No, I don't know.
Wow.
May I see your foot? No, the hair, the long hair, which I like very much, and from the eyes up.
Thank you.
Yes,
She's lovely.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Yes, well, that foot thing threw me tonight. Somebody told me when you originally auditioned for Hal Prince, you didn't get the job, or?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
It came down between another girl and myself, and these things happen in theater, and I just accepted it. And I was working in Washington doing Godspell, and one day I got a call down in Washington to fly up to Boston. Glynis knows, and that was it. Everything. I had to re-audition. I had to learn the song in about an hour. But I had very good help, Hal Hastings, and helped me fantastically with the song.
It worked out well. Look, I thank you both for coming. I know you You have to go back to work tonight, right?
Right, we have to do our show.
Back on the board. What's the theater that you're playing at?
Schubert.
The Schubert Theater plays a little night music, and I thank you both for coming tonight. Really, it's made it much fun for us. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Glynis.
Thank you, darling. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I don't mean she looks exactly like me. You know what I mean, Fred. She has the long hair, and Joanna has the eyes, but there's very little similarity outside of that. Rest in peace. We should hold services for that Nat. I've never killed anything on television before. We'll return with our guests.
Oh, yeah.
After this commercial, so stay with us. Tony Randall is here, and you be Blake.